This is So You Wanna, the podcast where we take the things people say they want to do and actually walk through what it takes. Not the highlight reel, not the success story with the hard parts edited out, the real cost, the real map, the stuff people wish someone had told them before they started. Every episode, one goal, everything it actually requires. Our guest today has one of the most unusual combinations of experience I've come across in the New Jersey political space. She works in healthcare, she's run for local office, she's created digital content for a sitting New Jersey governor, and she's now running for state assembly herself. Kate Stutzel is someone who has been on every side of the content equation: creator, strategist, and subject. Kate, welcome to So You Wanna.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
So, break it down for me. Your background. Where'd you come from, and what do you do for a living now in the real world?
Okay, so I'm a I'm a military brat. My father was on active duty with the Marine Corps when I was a child. I moved to New York City to finish college because I always knew I wanted to be in the big city. I'm a great lover of theater and culture, and I wanted to be where the action was. I started, and I never had big career dreams for myself. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I followed what I was interested in. I started working in financial marketing at a startup for a year or two. I got laid off during the recession of 2008, and then I ended up in healthcare. And I've been working at a academic medical center for about 16 years now.
So, a lot of spreadsheets and data analysis, that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. I think one of the through lines in my career is about the management of information. Like, it's sort of amazing how unorganized information is in general at every organization at every level. So being able to find information, to track information, to communicate information effectively is a valuable career skill. And that's something that I've been building out through my career.
So, I know this, but for our listeners who don't, tell me about how you got into local politics and decided to run the very first time.
How did I? You said you know.
I know
maybe
about.
you should tell the story because I'm not sure I know. What do you think?
I know about how you got involved and then decided to run for local
Mhm.
office, but how did you actually get involved in local
How
politics?
did I? So I started getting involved in New Jersey politics in 2016. I was newly out of grad school. I had two small children. I wanted to have a hobby of some kind where I met new friends. So I figured, well, what if I volunteered for this guy that was running for Congress in my area? Because we had this terrible Republican congressman who didn't care about us.
We just talked about it on the last episode.
There you go, Scott Garrett, wherever you are. So yeah, I started volunteering for then candidate Josh Gottheimer, and I met local people through that campaign. And then so that was 2016 and 2017. I did my first volunteer gig with the state assembly race where I live. And then over the years, just continuing to volunteer for candidates at all levels. I've done digital work with the DNC, like I was part of the call crew in 2020 and 2016 and 2020 for their digital effort. And then I also have volunteered for all Democrats on the slate. And then I decided in 2021, I ran myself for borough council where I live.
This is really cool, mainly because I am not in the political sphere. I here as a co-host, just like actually literally like learning about all of this. Jason knows a little bit more about politics. Obviously, you're involved. So I mean, you mentioned volunteering for a lot of the campaigns. When did it become like a paid opportunity, basically, or has it ever become a paid opportunity?
Never.
It's just always been
I do
volunteer.
this for fun.
Wow.
Strangely.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes is it cool? I sometimes wish I had less stressful hobbies. No, that's no, but I do very much enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy. It's a fun way to get to know people. It's a fun way to make change where you live. I mean, a hobby, fun for a hobby is one day, but electoral victory, that can last months, years.
Yeah,
You get to reap the rewards of that.
I'm going to ask a nerdy question here. Pick your favorite local government meeting. Is it Board of Education? Is it Mayor and Council, Zoning Board, Planning Board, the Master Plan meeting? Which one is it?
I love mayor and council meeting. I've attended several in the town where I live. I've attended them in other towns. There's always something interesting going on. Even if it's minutia and it's tiresome, there's interesting details being worked out that affect people's lives. And I could sit through, again, I've sat through meetings in towns where I don't live and I don't know any of the parties, but it's still interesting to me.
Any particular experience at a mayor and council meeting that just sticks with you?
Well, see, now I don't know if I can do this without naming names. And
You know, Frank wanted me to name names before when I was in the hot seat. So
I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that question. Let's see if I can think of anything without betraying people.
let's jump into your experience this past year.
Mhm.
Joining the content creation team
Content
or the
Creation
creator
Network,
team. Okay.
I think is what we were referred to.
Okay. And that was for
Then Congresswoman Mikey
yes,
Sherrill.
then Congresswoman for the Team Mikey
Mm-hmm.
creator team.
Yes.
Tell me, how did you come to be part of that team?
It's a funny story. So I think let's go back to my childhood. So I've always been a social media addict for 30 years. You can Google me and find interviews I gave about fandoms I was in when I was 13. That's a true story. Look it up. You may have to scroll a few times because Google's messed it up. But so I've always been interested in social media. I've always enjoyed sharing bits of my life. And I've sort of done that on and off, on various platforms for years. I got into TikTok in 2020 during the pandemic, like a lot of other people. But I had never really devoted myself to it with effort. And in the summer of 2025, I was playing around with different things I might be able to do to support the governor's election, just because it was so important and I couldn't bear the thought of New Jersey electing a Republican. So I said, well, what if I give myself a personal challenge, a personal creative challenge to roast the Republican nominee for governor every day until the election? This was I started this in September, I think. Could I do it for 75, 80, 90 days straight? I honestly wasn't sure. I thought maybe I would run out of creativity. I'd run out of ideas. I'd run out of memes to use. But over time, the more you use your creativity, the more it flows out. And I was having a lot of fun. I was connected with the campaign already. The campaign shared a lot of information with really anyone. They were sharing talking points that were available to anyone in the state that wanted to use them. And I was plugged into that. I was in some of the volunteer Slacks. And I would tag them sometimes in videos that I was doing just to be like, hey, this is, I'm doing this for you, with you. It was funny because the more I did, I start to meet other people that were talking about the same things I was, and they were also a part of this. I'm like, oh, they seems like they're doing content too. And then about a month into the effort, this was early October, I got outreach from the campaign who said, hey, actually, we have a club. It's we have this network where you can officially, unofficially be with us, be a part of us, which opened the door to kind of more talking points, to I was able to do events with them. So that's kind of, it all sort of happened because I took this personal creative challenge for myself. And I still think that's wild.
So you became a content creator by creating content.
Yes. I just told myself, I said, what if I just every day, if I just tried it and just see what happens? And like I said, I really didn't know if I was going to have enough ideas. Are people going to find it interesting? Is this just going to be for me? And flash forward, I was meeting the governor. I was shaking hands with Barack Obama on a rope line. All these wild things happened because I tried something new.
What was the first video that went viral for you?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I would have to look. At the numbers because it was the ones that I liked the most that never went viral. It was
I'm going to cheat. I kind of know the answer to the question already.
What's the answer?
I remember your first video that went viral. The one about the Target.
Oh, okay. Oh, this first video. Oh, that's the old one. Okay, we can talk about that. It was a Kmart video. Okay.
Sorry, Kmart. Okay.
That's so funny that you remember that. So before I took this personal creative challenge, I would occasionally make videos on my TikTok or my Instagram, particularly during the pandemic or even before then, just talking about when I would go shopping. And I would find people would really relate to those, I think, because everyone goes shopping. And I made a video about the Kmart in Westwood because it fascinated me that the Kmart in Westwood was one of the 3 remaining Kmarts in the continental United States at that time. There was one in Miami, one in Westwood, and I forget where the other one was. And I just made this video set to slow music, just touring people through this I mean, this was right before it closed. So the vibes were weird. The store was empty, but also very clean. Like the employees had taken such good care of it. That video it was my first video that got like 1 million views. It is now one of the main search results if you search Kmart on Target. So it still gets likes and comments like every day. Every now and then people will be like, oh, remember this place? And I'll comment back. Like, and again, the video is from 2021. So that was my first taste of virality.
Do they still have like the TV, the giant TV when you walk in? That was Kmart, right? That they used to have the giant TVs when you would walk in. That would be like showcasing sales
I don't even
or
know.
whatever.
We were more of a Target family when I was growing up, so I don't even have tons of Kmart memories. So sad. R.I.P. Kmart. Kmart is still active in Australia and New Zealand, though. That was fun. One funny thing about it going viral is there was a wave of like first it went viral in the United States, then it went viral in Australia and New Zealand, and they were very confused because for them Kmart is like Target. I don't know. You learn things creating content about the world.
I'll let you dive in on the Australia, New Zealand bit. You can ask the next one with.
So a question I have for you, Kate, is, kind of spell it out for me. I am not very active on social media. It's just kind of like, me and my friends. So, you were creating this content, pivoted to content with a more political bent. And then how did you get involved with the Mikey Sherrill campaign? Like, did somebody just reach out to you and say, hey, want to volunteer? Or did you reach out to them?
They did reach out to me. So I was already sort of connected with them for messaging stuff. Like I had access to their Slack with icons and graphics that I could use.
And that was just through like networking you were able to get access to those channels?
This was kind of just a campaign. I mean, I've been involved with campaigns enough to know that you can just volunteer. You can just email them. And one thing that the NJ DSC is very good about is promoting opportunities to get involved. You can get involved you can get access to the voter database and anyone can get trading on that. And there's a call on that anyone can join. Shout out to Executive Director Dave Pirano, who hosts calls that are everyone from campaign managers at congressional races down to local candidates who are doing their own van access. It's really fun. Like it's sort of an open door. So I was already connected in that way. And then I just got outreach from the digital manager to be like, hey, actually be a part of this network.
That's cool.
So I like to say that I was recruited. Feels extra fancy.
And so again, sorry if this is a stupid question, just spell it out for me. So like you were creating content on your own channels, like, at Kate Stutzel or whatever it is. And then once you transitioned to working for the Mikey Sherrill campaign, were you creating content for like those campaign handles, like directly posting, or kind of like what did you do and how exactly were you involved?
So the Content Creator Network was for creators that were creating content on their own platform. So the Team Mikey had their own staff that was handling all of her socials. We were just sort of surrogates, unofficial surrogates,
cool.
Using our own creativity to talk about the campaign issues that matter to us, to relate to our own audiences. I think there were 32 of us. I know that number because we got a shout out in the victory memo. They gave us some credit for all the message spreading that we did that hopefully contributed to her victory.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I never knew like kind of like the delineation between people who like, are, I was talking to Jason about this before, like the people who are posting for politicians, because I always see like, like Nancy Pelosi, who's like 80 something years old, is like posting like slay mama or like something like that. And I'm like, okay, this is like a 20 something year old intern versus like people who are more like political influencers. Would you say that you're like a political influencer or a content creator?
I think I'm a political influencer.
Okay, cool.
I think I am. I'm gonna be proud of that.
Yeah.
I don't care if the New Jersey political media thinks that's terrible. I'm proud of who I am.
Nice. Awesome. So, Kate, I have a question. You said that you were working for the Mikey Sherrill campaign kind of as a content creator, influencer, not necessarily doing her own social media. But then you're also a candidate yourself. So do you generate content for your own campaigns and, influence yourself into like, the public eye for whatever you're running for?
So I've always done my own socials to a certain extent. I mean, I think, last year was my beginning as like a true influencer, capital I. So it is a new road for me to manage that part of myself along with being a candidate. I do intend to kind of keep my brand rolling throughout the campaign. Right now, what I imagine, again, it's still very early because I'm not a candidate truly until 2027, but I am imagining keeping my current brand as is. Like, I'm at Kate Stutzel. It's about me and about my life, getting to know me, building that social part of social media. And then I imagine there might also be like a official campaign arm, which would be me and the other people that are running with me when they're determined, with kind of more official stuff about the platform and the campaign. But I do hope to keep my part of it rolling through that whole process.
Okay, cool. So, kind of going off that, uh, authenticity in social media, I feel like, when you portray yourself on social media, it is kind of, you're putting up a front, you're putting up like you're presenting your best self to the audience. And I mentioned before about how some politicians that are, in their 70s, 80s are tweeting stuff that sounds like it's actually their, 20 something year old social media intern tweeting that stuff. But when you're generating the content for yourself, how do you maintain that sense of authenticity, especially when it's all political content?
Authenticity is an important piece of what makes a brand work on social media, in my point of view. You have to be willing to share yourself because I think that's the only thing that's unique in that whole atmosphere. You can pretend to be somebody else and it's not going to hit because you're just not going to be able to take it. So, really bringing your true self to that process, it's vital. You can't do anything else. In terms of maintaining authenticity, it's funny because as a candidate, you have to be careful. You want to represent yourself well, but at the same time, I do want to be real and show people who I really am. So it is a balance, and that I'm constantly thinking about. I might make mistakes. We'll see. There may be people that don't understand it, and that's okay. It's not for my content's not for everyone. If you don't like it, it's just not for you. I hope you'll like me anyway.
Mhm.
We'll see how that goes.
I like you, Kate.
Thank you. Frank likes me.
So when you were making content this past year, what was the biggest lesson out of everything? Whether it's like specifically the type of creative that you were using or just cadence, logistics, what was it that you were like, ooh, I did not expect this, did not know that. And, now a few months in, I'm like, that's why I do it this way now.
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of little things. Like, I discovered that I smack my lips before I start talking, that I'm constantly editing out of my videos. I determine I realize what things I say that are annoying that I'm constantly trying to cut out. It makes you a better public speaker to constantly look and edit yourself. But I would say the main thing you learn is that you really never know what's going to happen. I make a video every day. Sometimes I think this one is so great, it's going to go amazing. It doesn't get that many views. Sometimes I post something random and weird and it gets hundreds of thousands of views. I don't know. There's a magic to it that I don't understand. So you really just have to just do what you like, what you think is fun, what you're proud of, whether it gets 100 views or a million views, and just let it go from there.
Yeah. When we talk about it at Furza, we talk about it from the content waste perspective, where it's just like you can't predict exactly what is going to flop versus what is just going to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, you just have to stay true to wanting to create videos that are eventually going to go viral and eventually you get a hit. It's
Mm-hmm.
just how many you have to create and you can't get discouraged because of the fact that
Right.
something only got a couple hundred views. Eventually you'll get a hit.
And that's one reason it's really nice to know other creators, particularly in the political realm. But even I recently got tagged into the Instagram content creator program. They have a program for people that are creating organic content, and now there's a chat for those people. And we're all dealing with the same issues. Why did this video go viral and this one not? And there's little tips and tricks in terms of editing and how you use music and text and all that. But ultimately, there's just a magic to it that you just have to try and just see what happens and be willing to accept that maybe the one you spent 3 hours editing isn't going to go viral and the one you spent 10 seconds on is. That's really annoying, but it's the truth.
Let me ask you something. So I have started recording more elements for like day in the life type videos or come with me on this type of adventure and whatnot. And I find sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, I'm going to say all the time, it is almost humiliating to be recording video. Like I had to take snippets because I was doing a day in the life, and we were at a dinner and there were a bunch of boomers who were there. And they're watching me like film the dinner and film every single course and whatnot. And I had to explain it. And I found it to be one of the most humiliating experiences. How have you experienced that? And how do you get over it?
I don't have any shame. No one should. Why should you? Like
In Kmart, you were just filming everything.
the Kmart was empty. That's why it closed. First off, I mean, I've definitely felt there have been times where I feel that a little bit, but you really have to filter out all the noise. And this is true in politics, and as it's true in content creation. You have to protect your own vibes. You have to really you have to dig yourself. You have to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, how the heck are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of, there has been maybe 1 or 2 times. I was at a tricky tray and I was doing a video about the tricky tray. And at one point I was filming myself and I'm like, oh, these tricky tray people are looking at me and they're so fancy and I'm crazy. But then I thought, well, I'm having fun.
It's also a tricky tray.
I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun too. If you're not, that's your choice. I'm going to live my life and just see what happens.
That's very funny you say that because, again, like when I was thinking about, things that I wanted to talk to you about on this episode, just, we don't know each other super well, but one of the things that I really admire about you is your completely indefatigable spirit, especially in the political realm where, it's very, very nasty. It's very, very divided. So is like that, shamelessness in a good way, the self-love, is that how you keep your spirit up by creating content? Some of it flops, some of it hits, especially in the political realm where it could get kind of messy. Or are there other techniques that you use to just, keep at it and keep your head up?
I've run for office twice. I was not successful either time. I ran for borough council. The town is very red. We did everything we could. Wasn't a win either time. I was not defeated. Because when you truly engage in the political sphere and you connect with people, it's such a touching experience. People are so kind. People encourage you so much. People care so much about you that it's really impossible to feel bad. That's one reason I really try to encourage people to engage with politics in the ways that's going to encourage them. I'm always encouraging people, you got to get out and knock doors. You got to get out and meet people. Even my social content, like I'm trying to make connections with people and it's already working. I'm meeting a lot of people in my area and that encourages me way more than the stupid faceless trolls saying that I'm ugly discourages me. Like and the funny thing is I can delete that whenever I want. Delete, you're gone now. And I just have the good stuff left. So in social content in particular, it's very easy to just filter. I can literally filter it out. Bye, click, bye.
That's awesome.
Is there a piece of political content that you've seen created by a candidate? Or let me be even more broad about it. Is there a candidate in particular as of late that you really think has like just knocked it out of the park in terms of authentic, high quality content?
I wish I could remember her name. Do I need to look her up?
Sure.
Okay.
Look her up.
She's not from New Jersey.
I thought you were going to use the one that everybody's been talking about, which is obviously Mayor Zoran Mandami, because
he's great too. I like him.
he is great, but living the life of where every single political candidate is like, I want to be like Mandami. And it's like,
we're not all like, we can't all be like,
yeah.
What is her name? Damn it. She's so freaking funny. All right. I'm gonna have to talk about this more generally. There are a lot of content creators that I find inspiring in the political realm. One New Jersey one I can think of is Assemblywoman Katie Brennan. She was producing a lot of content on the campaign trail that was really authentic and easy to engage with and fun, and she's doing the same thing now as an Assemblywoman. The New Jersey Senate Dems have an intern right now that's doing content that's like out of this world. And then outside of New Jersey, I follow people all the time that are doing stuff that's funny. That's what is her name? Damn it! There's a state. What is her? I cannot remember her name right now, and I'm going to give you the name so that when this comes to video, you can put it right down here. They're going to put the name right here of what her name is. She's been posting the funniest videos that are scripted. She did one where she's in a car, she's being held hostage, but she's also like canvassing the person that's kidnapping her to figure out where they live to see if they can vote for her. What is her name? Damn it. It's right here. You follow her because she's hysterical.
I have to laugh because these kind of almost guerrilla marketing tactics of like content creation, it just reminds me of when Beto first ran.
Mhm.
And I remember there was this live stream. Remember, like going live was like
Mhm.
actually a thing on Facebook that everybody
Mhm.
was doing, and I
Yeah.
think on Twitter too. R.I.P.
Now
Twitter.
we go live on TikTok.
Yeah, but so back then, and like one time, it was like Beto does laundry, and it was literally him doing his laundry.
AOC would do the same thing. She'd like she'd be making macaroni and cheese, and she'd be talking and talking.
And then you fold in the cheese, right? And like they'd be doing that and raising money. And also, like, these were candidates that had big followings already. So, like, smaller dollar contributions. Like, they were raking it in with like literally doing laundry and like folding in the cheese, which is just fascinating.
I think everyone is looking for that human touch. I think particularly in an age that is becoming more and more digital, more and more robotic, thanks to all this AI, people really want something that's real. And if you can be real, a real person, and you can engage with them about something that's real, people are going to like it.
I think it's easy to see too, like when you bring up AOC, one thing that I like about her content is that like she genuinely does seem like a policy wonk. Like she's talking about policy in a way that is like you can tell that she knows a lot about it. She's done her research and that she's interested in it. And that kind of cuts through the noise of politicians that I feel like are just in it for the sake of self-promotion or like just like wanting power, wanting to have like a platform, a big position in government or whatever. So it like that human bent, but like also still keeping it authentic in that way too, where if you have your pet issue that you really want to talk about versus like, just kind of telling people what they want to hear. That's what I feel like comes across as like a little phony sometimes and like a little just like it just, gets lost in the noise.
I agree. That sort of love will always shine through. I'm going to shout out another local, Councilman Matt Seymour from New Milford. He does a lot of work in the domestic violence sphere. He's been doing a lot of symposiums and advocacy, and you can tell that he really cares about this issue, and it comes through in his content. And yeah, it's the same thing as AOC. Of course, being brilliant like AOC probably doesn't hurt either.
Yeah. What are the issues that you are really passionate about that you bring up in your content a lot?
I really care about local engagement. I always want people to get involved locally, to be aware of local issues, to speak up for the things that they care about, particularly as it relates to local politics or to their school board. Always encouraging people to know who's on their school board, to know what their school board is doing, to keep an eye on who's running. I'm going to be talking about that this summer. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about school board petitions. It's going to be a barn burner. Millions of views. Everyone will want to watch it. And then, I follow the New Jersey political scene. I always want to know what's going on in Trenton. What are the bills that are being discussed? Bills that are going to affect my district. One reason that I'm running for state assembly is because our district has been represented for over 40 years, longer than I've been alive, by Republicans who seem very comfortable with, we're members of the minority. There's nothing we can do. We don't have to work that hard. The district is safe. And we're just not getting anything, literally not getting anything. When the budget request went in this year, they didn't put in any requests for us. They didn't even ask for any money. The district next to ours got $31 million and we got $0. I don't think that's cool.
And I know for a fact that there are some towns in your district that could really use funding for some major, major infrastructure problem.
Absolutely.
Sorry, projects. They're problems, but projects.
Yeah, we have issues with flooding. We have recreation facilities that need help. We have community centers and borough halls. And there's a lot everybody's strapped for cash. And we're certainly paying our fair share to Trenton. Why don't we have representation that's fighting for that for us in Trenton? That really bothers me. So I'm running.
So, okay. I asked you about what issues you are passionate about. Now, how do you take your passion for that issue and translate it into content? Like literally break it down step by step. Because I have things that I am interested in and passionate about, but I don't really know how to translate that into a TikTok video, into an Instagram reel or anything like that. So what's your first step? How do you take that idea and make it into content that you send out into the world?
It's interesting. One thing Jason knows about me is that I'm very much a spreadsheet girl. It's my career. It's how I run my campaigns. My content is sort of a bit more of a jungle. It's a bit more wild and free creatively.
Type A meets type B.
I don't even have a spreadsheet for my content, Jason. Can you believe it? You know, I'm always just thinking about what is inspiring me, what's on my mind. I maybe have a note on my phone where I'm like, think about this, think about that. But mostly it's just always running through my mind the things I want to talk about, the things I want people to know, things I want them to know about me, things I want them to know about the world. Being in a district that's been held by one party for so long, I feel like there's a lot of points of view that are unrepresented. I want to make sure those are being represented to people. And I get a lot of good feedback from people that want to hear that. Again, people are hungry for that real connection. They're hungry to hear from someone. So how does it happen? I don't know. Talking about Matt Seymour again, he was the one that told me one day, he's like, I don't know how you do it every day. And I said, Matt, I don't know either. Every day I think this is the day I run out of things to say. I'm certain of it. I will have nothing else to say. And then I wake up the next morning. It's like, oh, wait, no. I woke up this morning at like 6:30 in the morning and a script was running through my head. And I filmed this morning's video in like one take. Because it was just there. I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. I think it's the muses. I think we need to bring back the concept of muses. What's that, like a Greek concept? I have muses, and they're just floating about me.
So speaking of muses, TikTok started as like ByteDance, the whole dance platform. Do you dance? Do you not dance?
I'll
What's
dance.
your
I'll
okay?
dance. There hasn't been a good dance in a while. I mean, I'm not like a super talented dancer. There probably are dances for actual dancers. I feel like I saw one the other day. It was like actual dancers.
Sometimes they're like doing flips and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I mean, those
this
people
is
those people
not
always have a dance. There's not there. I don't think there's been a dance for us dancers in a
for
while.
us like Dance Revolution level
Yes.
1.
But I will. I am open to doing a dance if needed.
So I think something that I've noticed throughout our conversation so far is that like, you talk about just uploading and just making content every day, just going for it. So it almost seems like your strategy is like, as soon as you get an idea, just like roll with it and make the video and don't think too much about it. Like,
Yeah.
is that kind of like it's like thinking too much about it? Is that what paralyzes you, or?
I assume that I would assume that it probably could paralyze you if you think too much about it. I also think once you've done it long enough, that overthinking it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be great. I've had videos that I've edited for way too long and then they don't get enough views that I was like, well, that wasn't worth it. Like all that time. But then the quick stuff can really take off and resonate with people. So you don't want to work at it too hard, because then even if it doesn't like affect the content negatively, you've still just wasted your time being stressed about it. Just be free. Just express yourself.
What mistakes have you made? Like, if you're like talking about like not thinking too much about it, but like even like in spur of the moment kind of content creation, like what mistakes have you made that you've learned from?
You really have to make it. I mean, in terms of not overthinking it, you really even want to very much simplify it down. There's a concept in writing called kill your darlings, where you can be really attached to an idea. And if it's not working, you just got to push it aside and say, okay, but just keep it really simple. I always like to keep my videos very short. I find if they're too long, I can like lose the plot. If I have an idea that I'm thinking about, sometimes I'll think about something for so long that I'll lose the spark of what it is I was trying to do. And I really have to like say like, what's the key? What's the one sentence here that you're trying to communicate? And then like focus on that and just say, you know what, that's good enough. That's good enough. Like I guess it's maybe not being too much of a perfectionist and just seeing what happens.
Okay, cool.
So someone listening right now, they want to start creating political content. Maybe they're a little afraid. They've created some content, kind of stuck with Facebook, Instagram, posting about their life. But they want to expand and go into political content. They have a phone, point of view, district, town, whatever, that they want to get involved in locally. They've listened and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Where do they start?
They set up, you put your phone against something, click record, start talking. Talk till you're done, turn the record off. Cut the first part, cut the last part, post the meat of it. That's it. You're done.
Anything special required?
Really? I mean, in terms of like, you don't need any special gear. I have a wireless microphone that I bought from TikTok for $15. I have a little tripod I bought from TikTok for like $20. It is breaking now, but it gave me like a good 2 years. So I think I got my money's worth there. You don't need anything fancy. Make sure you have enough light that we can see your face. Having a microphone is helpful. Again, those are like, $10 $10 or $15. But other than that, you really don't need anything special. You can just have a point of view, have something to say.
Go down to Kmart.
Go down to the Kmart. It's closed now. I need to go. I was thinking of going back to the Kmart and being like, look, it's empty, guys.
Go down under to the Kmart to Australia.
Boom.
If Kmart in Australia wants to sponsor me, I'm willing to sell out for that. I'm not monetized right now, but I could be for the Kmart in Australia. Me and my whole family. You got to fly all 5 of us. I drive a hard bargain.
So let's close with this. You're running for assembly in LD39. You've worked through other creator programs, right, for other candidates and whatnot, but now you're the candidate. So what is your strategy going to look like for the next few months? And we recognize that you're in a little bit of this waiting period, right? Some insider baseball because you've still got the 2026 midterm to get around. And then we're in New Jersey, so we're gluttons for punishment. We like to have elections every single year. So you're next year. But what does this next few months look like, especially the summer where everybody's at the shore?
I too hope to spend some time at the shore this summer, although it won't be all summer. In terms of content, this is really a bit of an experimental year for me. I'm trying things out. I'm getting to know the towns that are in my district. I'm going places I've never been before to meet people I've never met before. To try to make connections and learn about people. If you are in LD39 and you have somewhere you'd like me to go, please invite me. I would love to come. I love cultural events. I love theater. I love art. I love community bazaars. So in terms of content, just more of the same, more of featuring things about me, things about the news that I want to get to know. I will be doing some content, I think, for the midterms to support candidates around the state. Hopefully, we'll see who I
Just
get
around the state, or can we expect a little bit of national?
I don't think I'll be doing a
reach?
ton of national stuff. As I get older, one thing I'm enjoying is not having an opinion on everything. And let me tell you, you're so free when you're like, you know what? I don't have to, even if it's important, even if it matters, I don't have to have an opinion on it. There are other people. There's somebody on the internet with an opinion about everything. I can trust those people to have those opinions. And I will focus on my little corner of the world. So I imagine 99% sure I will just be focused on my home state of New Jersey. This year we have important races, NJ2, NJ4, NJ7, NJ12. We got to elect 4 new Democrats, guys.
On that note, a lot of faith in humanity. I hope to build that up over the next few months, and we'll see where we land in November is what I'll say. So thanks so much. It was wonderful having you on, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, guys. Bring me
fun.
back. I do parties.
Excellent. Thank you.